Namaskar, Mitro. Good afternoon to all of you and welcome. To begin with, my apologies for keeping you waiting. It's one of those rare occasions when I couldn't land up at the scheduled time. I hope you understand the exigencies of work sometimes. We have with us Mr. G.V. Srinivas, Joint Secretary Eurasia, for briefing you today on the upcoming visit of the Prime Minister to Astana, Kazakhstan, tomorrow, in the context of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. So, GV, here's the floor to you.
Thank you, Gopal. Prime Minister would be visiting Astana tomorrow to return on the subsequent day. So on 8th of June, he arrives in Astana to attend the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Heads of State Summit. As you may all know, that India had applied formally to become the member of Shanghai Cooperation Organization in the year 2014. We have been member since 2005, observers since 2005, but SCO had settled the rules of taking new members in 2014 when we applied for the membership, and in 15, in UFA summit of SCO, we were told that we will be welcomed as the members. 2016, the Tashkent summit identified the process which will lead us to the membership. And the entire year, since Tashkent summit last year, when we signed this memorandum of obligations, which is essentially a process through which an aspirant country like India has to go through before we become a member. So that process has been completed from our side, essentially entailed acceding to a couple of agreements as per the calendar drawn by the memorandum of obligations, something which we have relayed to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Secretariat in Beijing. They have also confirmed that India has completed this process. Prime Minister would be visiting Astana in this context, and indications are that the last leg of the entire membership process, as per the memorandum obligations, which is the confirmation by the heads of state, existing members of SCO, that is going to happen in Astana as the Prime Minister arrives there. So, in addition to that, Prime Minister will also be participating in the inaugural of the World Exposition, which is being hosted this year by Kazakhstan. He will be joining other leaders, both those participating in SCO as also those who are coming only for World Expo, to inaugurate jointly with other leaders this World Expo. In addition, with the presence of so many leaders in Astana, there will be a couple of bilaterals also scheduled as the meeting Prime Minister visits. And once this is over, on 9th of June, Prime Minister comes back to arrive here early morning, 10th of June. That's what the program and the whole content of the SCO related visit of the Prime Minister is. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's an overview of the whole program. Essentially, the summit-related events, the exhibition, and the bilaterals, which would inevitably happen on the margins of such events. So we open the floor for questions now.
सर, जैसा कि बायलैटरल होने की संभावना है चीन के प्रेसिडेंट और पीएम मोदी के बीच में, जाहिर तौर पर चीन ने फिर से अपने स्टैंड को क्लियर किया है कि एनएसजी पर उसका नॉन एनपीटी कंट्रीज़ को लेकर स्टैंड चेंज नहीं हुआ है। तो क्या इस बाबत बातचीत होगी और किस तरह से उम्मीद हम करते हैं कि चीन के समर्थन को हम प्राप्त कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि रसिया की मदद हम इस मसले में ले रहे हैं?
देखिए, ये जो ब्रीफिंग है ये हम लोगों ने शंघाई कोऑपरेशन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की सदस्यता के संबंध में रखी है, क्योंकि प्रधानमंत्री की यात्रा मुख्यतः उस उद्देश्य के लिए है, अस्ताना शिखर सम्मेलन में। और जो बायलैटरल्स होंगे, जैसा मैंने कहा, कुछ संभावित बायलैटरल्स हैं जिनमें आपने चाइनीज़ प्रेसिडेंट का नाम लिया, तो उसकी संभावना है, लेकिन शेड्यूल उसका वर्कआउट होता है, ऐसे में लोकली कोऑर्डिनेट करते हैं हमारे मिशन। तो उसमें क्या डिस्कस होगा, क्या नहीं डिस्कस होगा, ये तो मैं अभी नहीं बता सकता, क्योंकि ये भी अभी संभावित भेंट है, मुलाकात है। और जहाँ तक एनएसजी में सदस्यता का और चीन के रुख का सवाल है, उसके संबंध में विदेश मंत्री जी ने सवाल का उत्तर परसों दे दिया था, और मेरे पास उसके बाद उसमें और कुछ कहने के लिए कुछ है नहीं इस वक्त।
इसमें प्रधानमंत्री जाएंगे तो क्या इसके अलावा किन्हीं और देशों से बायलैटरल मीटिंग का कोई शेड्यूल है अभी तक, खासकर पाकिस्तान या चाइना के साथ?
चाइना वाला जवाब मैंने अभी दे दिया। जहाँ तक पाकिस्तान का प्रश्न है, विदेश मंत्री ने परसों कहा था कि उस वक्त तक ना उनकी तरफ से कोई इस तरह की गुजारिश थी, ना हमारी तरफ से इस तरह का कोई प्रस्ताव था, और उस स्थिति में अभी तक जहाँ तक मेरी जानकारी है कोई बदलाव नहीं हुआ है। कुछ और देशों के साथ बायलैटरल्स हो सकते हैं, लेकिन जैसा मैंने कहा वहाँ समिट के मार्जिन्स पर कोऑर्डिनेट करना पड़ता है इन बायलैटरल मीटिंग्स को, तो वो हमारे मिशन के जरिए हम लोग कर लेते हैं। वो जैसे होंगे हम लोग आपको, हाँ ये ज़रूर बता दूं, वी विल बी एडवाइजिंग द मीडिया ऑन द इवेंट्स ऑफ एवरी डे एज वी डू फॉर द प्राइम मिनिस्टर्स विजिट, सो यू वुड कम टू नो द शेड्यूल एंड देयर फॉर ऑल्सो वी वुड कीप द मीडिया एज मच ब्रीफ्ड एज पॉसिबल ऑन द डिस्कशंस एंड द आउटकम ऑफ दोज मीटिंग्स।
Gopal, there have been some reports from Beijing at the time of the One Belt, One Road summit that Mr. Putin and Mr. Xi Jinping had a meeting with the Pakistan Prime Minister and encouraged him to take some initiative to mend, improve ties with India. And so, you are with the PM in Russia. Did anything on these lines, was it discussed when Mr. Modi met Mr. Putin? Or would you have any comment to make on these reports from Beijing? Thanks.
Venkat, as I said, and I would reiterate that this briefing is essentially on the SCO aspect of it. But since you have asked, the discussions with President Putin were very wide-ranging. I think over a course of a little over 24 hours. I think the two leaders devoted 7 hours and more to, they were present together, either bilaterally or in multilateral forum like St. Petersburg Economic Forum. So during those discussions, a number of issues were discussed, both in great breadth and depth. ERS is here. I don't know if you would like to add something to it, but I would say that from the details that I have of those discussions, terrorism and the situation in our region obviously were discussed, but specifically the aspect that you asked, whether this was discussed, I don't have information on that. GV, would you like to add anything?
Just to quickly add here that the position of India was already relayed by the EAM on the account of this bilateral issue. This is bilateral to be settled bilaterally. So obviously this would not be even covered in that kind of setting. And India and Russia strategic special privilege partnership, I don't think such a suggestion will be made. But if I really twist around that question to SCO context also, then I will say that SCO itself says that the bilateral issue should not be brought into the SCO platform. So that practically covers your question.
You just mentioned, in fact, about how the SCO is very clear also that bilateral issues shouldn't be brought onto its platform. However, given the fact that the SCO is a collective of 6, it's now going to be 8 countries, how much do we fear our aspirations within the SCO being curbed by the fact that we have the differences we do with China and Pakistan, not just on bilateral issues, but on broader conceptual issues, including terrorism? Is that a concern, and how do we plan to deal with it?
No, that is not a concern for us in the sense that, yes, we are part of many bodies. Not everyone who's member of that body agrees on everything that is discussed there. SCO is not different to that. We are going there with an open mind, and it's a constructive organization. We have a lot to gain by the areas where there is convergence. The areas of divergence need not necessarily be a setback for us.
If I may add, you see, in all the multilateral intergovernmental fora, there is obviously people join in for the purpose of cooperation. Shanghai Cooperation Organization is a vital organization, and that's why we are joining it in the context of regional security, stability, particularly given in our neighborhood and extended neighborhood. So this is going to be the focus. Obviously, there are many aspects of this situation. So our hope and objective of joining the organization is to further the cooperation. Yeah, Shinjoy?
So I know this is SCO, but you've also spoken about stability. Would you like to say anything on what happened in Iran today? It's an important event.
I will say something, but towards
important.
I will certainly say something, but towards the end. At the end.
विदेश मंत्री ने अपनी प्रेस वार्ता में पाकिस्तान के साथ मुलाकात को लेकर सीधे तौर पर मना किया था। आपने अभी कहा उस वक्त तक, जहाँ तक मेरी जानकारी है, तो क्या दोनों प्रतिक्रियाओं के मायने एक ही हैं, या फिर किसी संभावनाओं से इनकार नहीं किया जा सकता है कि भारत और पाकिस्तान के बीच कोई बायलैटरल हो सकता है?
जिसको अब पता नहीं बालों में खाल होती है कि नहीं होती, लेकिन अगर होती तो आपने ज़रूर निकाल ली थी। मुद्दा ये है सीधा सा कि विदेश मंत्री ने जो कहा था वो ये कहा था उस वक़्त, और मुझे जहाँ तक उनके शब्द याद हैं वो ये कि पाकिस्तान की तरफ से और हमारी तरफ से इस तरीके का कोई प्रस्ताव नहीं है। मैंने जो अभी कहा वो ये कहा, परसों विदेश मंत्री ने जब ये कहा था उस वक़्त तक ना कोई प्रस्ताव हमारी तरफ से था, ना कोई गुजारिश पाकिस्तान की तरफ से थी, और इस स्थिति में मेरी जानकारी के अनुसार अभी तक कोई बदलाव नहीं आया है। मेरे ख्याल से इससे बाल और खाल दोनों स्पष्ट हो गए होंगे। कल्लोल।
Sir, the Belt and Road Initiative found mention in the SCO earlier and the joint statement earlier. And then, as a new member, will India be endorsing that statement, which sort of, supported Belt and Road Initiative?
Which particular statement are you talking about?
2015.
As far as I understand, there is a process, memorandum of obligation, that's what the Joint Secretary referred to. And the memorandum of obligation does bring you into an obligation for the agreements and documents that exist before you join. But what exactly is the legal position in this regard? GV, would you like to elaborate?
No, I think you have said it exactly. We are going by the documents which we are expected to accede to or sign up to. Those 38 documents which we have signed or acceded to as a part of this membership process does not talk of what you're referring to. What will happen once we become members when we have a say, that's a different stage. At this stage, there is no such thing which is being owned up as a member state coming from the SCO from the past.
You have partly, of course, answered my question, but I just wanted you to be a little more specific. What exactly do we hope to gain from becoming members of SCO? Is it trade, security? I mean, the whole thing. Would you just spell it out a little bit, please?
You have said it again, that this is a region which is full of resources, which is historically connected to India. We have been actually part of the same history from, I think, millennia of years. How can we not be a member of such an organization which is just across in our extended neighborhood? So it was politically very satisfying for us to become a member of this organization. As to the advantages, we know that it has broadly two legs of collaboration which is being pursued in the SCO platform. One is trade, economic, connectivity, energy, transport, banking, that set of issues. And second thing is, of course, this fight against terrorism. And as you all know, one body each, one is Shanghai Cooperation Organization Secretariat, which is based in Beijing, and another sister or actually sub-body, which is in RATS in Tashkent. The second body pursues the fight against terrorism. Both are of relevance and great importance to us. We hope that as we join this rapid action terrorist structure, we will be able to benefit from this collaboration against the fight against terrorism. And if you really go through that, there's a series of activities they do, including joint exercises in fighting terrorism, having a data bank of, for example, terrorists and then the undesirable elements, etc. So there's a lot of coordination which happens. So we would definitely wish to benefit from both these arms. The connectivity, for example, is the prime desire for the country as we want to connect Central Asia. We have been pursuing some of the lines, as we know, Chabahar and Ashgabat Agreement. We have also becoming members of Ashgabat Agreement. And this dovetails very well with the connectivity ideas which within the SCO they're also pursuing. Broadly, this is what it is about.
Would you like to?
बड़े ज्ञान ध्यान की बात, बड़े छोटी सी बात थी ये वाली. अब देख कोशिश करता हूँ, देखिएगा आप फिर स्वागत कीजिएगा, ठीक से बोलता हूँ तो वहाँ पर. तो स्थिति ये है कि इसमें दो मुख्य रूप से काम होते हैं, काउंटर टेररिज्म और दूसरा इकोनॉमी, ट्रेड, कनेक्टिविटी. इनके शब्द तो मैं नहीं बता पाऊँगा, लेकिन मेरे ख्याल से ये सब तो अपने आप में जगजाहिर हैं. तो ये दोनों से हम लाभान्वित होना चाहते हैं. तो उम्मीद यही है, जाके हम बिल्कुल धनात्मक रवैये के ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं इसको। अब कितना आगे बढ़ता है, एज ए मेंबर भी हम उसको आगे बढ़ाने की कोशिश करेंगे इन्हीं आधार पर, और जो ऑलरेडी हो चुका है उससे भी लाभ उठाने की कोशिश करेंगे, टेररिस्ट से लड़ने के लिए और साथ में इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट के लिए भी।
If I may add just one aspect to it, obviously the Shanghai Cooperation Organization has member states which are neighbors of Afghanistan. And given the situation in Afghanistan and our commitment to ensuring peace and stability, and also remaining engaged with the international community for peace, stability, and sovereignty, democracy, and territorial integrity, unity of Afghanistan, and of course development, SCO will be an institutional forum where we can engage also with the neighbors of Afghanistan in this context. मैं हिंदी में बता देता हूँ इसको कि शंघाई कोऑपरेशन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में अफ़गानिस्तान के बहुत से पड़ोसी देश हैं जो उसके सदस्य हैं, क्योंकि भारत की एक प्राथमिकता है विदेश नीति की कि हमारे रीजन में, ख़ास तौर से हमारे क्षेत्र में अफ़गानिस्तान जो कि हमारा एक बहुत पड़ोसी और बहुत मित्र देश है, उसके अंदर स्थिरता हो, वहाँ आतंकवाद ना हो, वहाँ पे शांति हो, वहाँ पे विकास हो, उसकी संप्रभुता, उसकी अखंडता अक्षुण्ण बनी रहे। इसके लिए शंघाई कोऑपरेशन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हमको एक ऐसा मंच प्रदान करेगा जिस पे हम अफ़गानिस्तान के पड़ोसी देशों के साथ संस्थागत रूप से विचार विमर्श और सहयोग कर सकते हैं।
Hello. Yes, my question is about the new Nepal Prime Minister has said. New Nepal Prime Minister has said that the country would like to have good relation with both India and China. Would you like to say something on that?
Well, in the context of Shanghai Cooperation Organization briefing, I am constrained to say I won't be able to comment on this. But जैसा हमने पहले कई बार कहा है, we have said it again and again. Our relations with any country and any country's relations with any other country are independent entities, independent things. We do not think that relation of country A with B is contingent upon its relations with us or vice versa. So I would leave it at that. But I would remind respectfully that this briefing is on a Shanghai Cooperation Organization related matters. I have two more hands. Yeah.
So this is a clarification. You said indications are that existing members will accept India's membership formally here when the Prime Minister visits. So what exactly is going to happen? Program-wise, is there any ceremony of accepting a new member of SCO? Are we supposed to sign any more documents? What is left to be done? Just a clarification on that.
Our understanding is that there is no document to be signed by us. This will be an internal decision by the existing members of SCO welcoming India as a new member, something which will be announced through some relevant format. We are not very clear of that. There could be, for example, a reference in the joint statement, outcome is the issue. There could be a photo opportunity. A couple of ideas have been thrown in, but we are not exactly clear what will happen on that count. But it will be around those lines. A statement by the leaders or a press conference by the Secretary General, etc., something of that nature.
So just for your clarity, if I may just add one sentence here, the formal process of India joining has taken place, and as Joint Secretary mentioned, the Shanghai Secretariat of the organization has confirmed that it's been done. But since it's an organization, multilateral, intergovernmental organization, the decision rests with the heads of state. So heads of state are going to meet, and the heads of state are expected to formally accept India's membership. I think that clarifies the matter. Yeah.
All the boxes have been ticked, if I can say. That there's a whole chart which we were to complete. With effort, we could do that. Yeah. But the final decision is with the heads of state.
सर, चूँकि चाइना में ये सम्मेलन हो रहा है, वहाँ आतंकवाद के ऊपर बात उठाई जाएगी और भारत उठाएगा। कश्मीर की आड़ में पिछले कई दशकों से भारत आतंकवाद झेल रहा है। हम 40 साल के हो गए आतंकवाद देख ही रहे हैं। तो कश्मीर की आड़ में जब पाकिस्तान आतंकवाद को प्रश्रय दे रहा है और बढ़ा रहा है, तो क्या भारत बलूचिस्तान में हो रहे आतंकवाद का मुद्दा वहाँ उठाएगा?
आपका प्रश्न जो है वो एक सदाबहार प्रश्न है और दुर्भाग्यवश वो बहार का विषय नहीं, वो पतझड़ और सूखे जैसे ज़्यादा उसकी समानता लगती है जो मुद्दे आपने रखे हैं सामने। मैं बड़ी खुशी से आपके सवाल का जवाब देता, लेकिन बंधु मेरी एक मजबूरी है वो ये कि वो ये जो ब्रीफिंग है वो शंघाई कोऑपरेशन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के शिखर सम्मेलन के बारे में है, और दूसरी बात ये कि ये शिखर सम्मेलन अस्ताना कज़ाकिस्तान में हो रहा है। we had one hand somewhere. Yeah, okay.
Could you tell us something more about the nature of the joint exercise on counterterrorism? Are they military exercises or are they security agencies or what?
What we know as an observer as of now, obviously we are not members, but what we know from outside and what we have been hearing is same thing what you know. It's a joint exercise to fight terrorism. Now, in that context, who all go participate, etc., naturally the security forces will have to go and participate there. I would not know beyond that. But definitely this is not a defense pact or alliance of that nature. It's not in those terms. It is fight against terrorism. His body's name itself indicates that. RATS itself has only terrorist somewhere thrown in there in the third letter. I don't know what exactly you had in mind beyond that, who all will go and fight terrorism. So I don't think you asked that question. Did you ask? No, it's regular, year after year, some setting, if you want those details. Every year there's one country which hosts these forces to come together. They come together to together learn how to really best fight, mutual learning, experience sharing, essentially all with one enemy, which is terrorism.
Ranjit, you wanted to ask a second question?
So India will be invited to join next SCO joint exercise?
Maybe with Pakistan?
With all Pakistan, China and...
Well, you see, I don't understand, is that a question or a statement or exclamation? No, look, the thing is, we are going to Astana to become a full member. What happens after we become the full member? That will happen only after we become the full member. So it is a little bit hypothetical for us at this stage to say what will happen once we have become. Of course, we know the obligations and the functions of the member states. As far as I think what you wanted to ask is whether we will be, if we are invited together with Pakistan for anti-terrorism operations, I think you must know that we participate with many countries, including Pakistan, in the UN peacekeeping operations. And terrorism is a fight which is incumbent on entire humanity, not just countries. Okay, so with that, okay, last question over here. Sorry.
बट एक चीज़ आपको बोलना चाह रहा था मैं, जितने भी चीज़ें SCO में होती हैं उसमें हम पूर्ण रूप से भागीदार रहेंगे, तो इसलिए संभावना कम इस बात की है कि वो कुछ हो जाए वहाँ पे भारत अलग से रहे, कम नज़र आती है, क्योंकि हर एक व्यक्ति, हर एक मेंबर कंट्री जो रहेगा, 8 जो रहेंगे, सब एक ही लेवल की कोऑपरेशन की बात करेंगे। तो अगर इस पर कुछ साझेदारी होती है, कुछ टेररिज्म एक्सरसाइज वगैरह होते हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल से आमंत्रण मिलेगा हम लोगों को वहाँ पर। आमंत्रण के हम तो एज ए हक बनता है वहाँ पर एज ए मेंबर कंट्री। आमंत्रण की आवश्यकता तो बाद में होती है बाहर के लोगों को, वो तो खुद मेंबर रहेंगे, तो उसके तो शर्तें वगैरह सब हम खुद ही तय करेंगे बाहर के साथ मिलकर।
सर एक चीज़ समझना चाहते, क्लैरिफिकेशन चाहिए था कि जो SCO में मेंबरशिप के लिए जिस तरह से इंडिया ने आपने बताया 38 ऑब्लिगेटरी पेपर्स को जो साइन किया गया है, तो इसके मेजर हाइलाइट्स क्या हैं? क्या वो ऑब्लिगेटरी पेपर्स में क्या मेजर हाइलाइट्स थे जो हमने उसको साइन किया है? और इमीडिएटली समझने की कोशिश करें, क्या इंडिया के पास इमीडिएटली क्या कुछ फ़ायदा हो जाएगा? क्या मार्केट एक्सेस के तौर पर हमें ज़्यादा मार्केट मिल जाएगा? तो इमीडिएटली क्या फ़ायदा होता हुआ दिखाई देगा? सर, ये 2 क्वेश्चन अगर इसको क्लैरिफाई कर सकें।
देखिए, जो ये 38 एग्रीमेंट का टेक्स्ट आए थे वो सबको हम लोगों ने पढ़ा, लेकिन अभी तुरंत अगर पैसा गिनना शुरू करें तो मुश्किल हो जाएगा वहाँ पर, क्योंकि ये हम देख रहे हैं कि हमारे पड़ोस में एक जोरदार बॉडी है जिससे हमारे काफ़ी इंटरेस्ट मैच करते हैं, उस आधार पे इसको देखा गया है। तो इसमें तो मैं तो ये कहना चाहूँगा कि और भी अच्छा हो सकता था, क्या संभावना है उस बात की, लेकिन अगर आप चलें मेमोरेंडम ऑफ ऑब्लिगेशन तो उसमें ये कहा गया है कि ये प्रिंट है, इसमें या तो ज्वाइन कीजिए या मेंबरशिप का कंडीशन वाला था। तो उस आधार पर उसको हमने आका, जो भी हमको एग्रीमेंट दिखाया गया वहाँ पर, कि इसमें मेरा हित है, बेहतरी की बात मैं मेंबर बनने के बाद में सोचूंगा उसके बारे में, और कितना फ़ायदा होता है घाटा होता है उसके बाद में देखूँगा। सबसे बड़ा फ़ायदा तो अपने आप में है कि एक बॉडी हमारे नेबरहुड में है जिसके हम मेंबर बन रहे हैं, 5 से ऑब्जर्वर चल रहे हैं, तो मेंबर बन रहे हैं, अपने आप में ये स्वागत योग्य बात हुई ना।
अभी ऑब्लिगेशन पेपर्स के कुछ हाइलाइट्स अगर बता सके क्या
वो
क्या
सारे एग्रीमेंट 38 जो है ना, वो लिस्ट भी जिस आधार पे मैंने बताया ना, बैंकिंग और रोड ट्रांसपोर्ट, कस्टम्स कोलैबोरेशन, अगेंस्ट टेररिज्म, प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ द म्यूचुअली क्लासिफाइड एग्रीमेंट्स डॉक्यूमेंट, क्योंकि किसी का नाम पता पड़ गया तो ऐसा नहीं कि बाहर बांटते फिरें, तो उस टाइप की चिंता भी शुरू हो जाती है वहाँ पर। सेंसिटिव इन्फॉर्मेशन जब एक्सचेंज करेंगे तो प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ द क्लासिफाइड इन्फॉर्मेशन, शंघाई कोऑपरेशन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, थोड़ा सा अपना उनका जो चार्टर वगैरह होता है, प्रिंसिपल्स की बात होती हैं, ये सब का कुछ प्रोटोकॉल भी हो जाते हैं। एग्रीमेंट तो साइन हो गया, बाद में प्रोटोकॉल बन गया, तो ये लिस्ट पूरी वहाँ पड़ी हुई है मेरे ख्याल से, लेकिन उससे ज़्यादा आपको नज़र नहीं आएगा। और किसी को लिस्ट चाहिए तो कहीं बाद में हमको देना पड़ेगा ये वाला मामला, जिससे कि हमने एक्सीड किया हुआ। एक बार मेंबर बन जाने साल लिस्ट दे देंगे आपको 38 जिसमें साइन किए थे वहाँ पर, क्योंकि अभी थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ हो जाएगा। बट मोटी मोटी बात तो वही है, बैंकिंग, कनेक्टिविटी। थैंक यू।
चीन के अधिकारियों ने कुछ समय पहले SCO के आर्टिकल 1 का हवाला देते हुए कहा था कि उसकी शर्त है कि अच्छे पड़ोसी बने रहें, और भारत और पाकिस्तान के संदर्भ में वो कहा गया था। तो अगर ऐसी स्थिति आती है तो हमारा जवाब क्या होगा? दूसरा, SCO के मेंबर बनने पर एनर्जी के मामले में कुछ विशेष एनर्जी रिसोर्स से रिच कंट्रीज़ हैं वो सेंट्रल एशिया की, तो हमें क्या फ़ायदा होगा? I would respond to your first question, and energy maybe Mr. Srinivas can respond. देखिए, बड़ी सिंपल सी बात है। इंडिया इज़ ऑलवेज tried for good neighborly relations with all countries, and I am emphasizing with all countries. So this is, and like the Prime Minister said, like the External Affairs Minister said about the climate change, that we have taken the commitments on ourselves. What we are doing not because somebody ordered us to do, but because we need to do it for ourselves. So we want good neighborly relations, and we have taken initiatives for good neighborly relations with all countries, not because there is an obligation somewhere, but this is the crux of our foreign policy. That's why we have neighborhood first. GV, would you like to say something on the energy related question?
एनर्जी का भी जवाब लगभग वैसे ही जाएगा जैसे मैंने पहले दिया था वहाँ पर। दे हैव दिस ऑन गोइंग कोलैबोरेटिव एफर्ट। दिस इज अगेन ऑल सडन डन इन द इंटरनेशनल स्कीम। दिस इज नॉट एग्जैक्टली अ वेरी वेरी old settled body. It's still, as we go along, they are actually thinking of new collaborations, putting through, as we even go, for example, in this summit, there may be more documents being signed, etc. एनर्जी भी लगभग उसी अंदाज में है वहाँ पर। उसमें एग्जैक्टली क्या कोलैबोरेशन से हमें फ़ायदा होता है वहाँ पर, उसको तो अभी खबर नहीं है।
देखिए, जो आपने सवाल पूछा था और आपने पूछा स्पेसिफिक्स के ऊपर, लेट मी जस्ट मेंशन 1 or 2 sentences here. The primary focus when the Shanghai Cooperation Organization began was on the security. Over the years, as an organization, it has evolved. It includes a lot of these areas which are related to economy, finance, connectivity, etc. Because there is closer cooperation growing in the region. The possibilities are immense. The potential exists. What exactly will happen in terms of specific results, that we cannot conjecture without becoming the member. We are aware of the possibilities and we are aware of the benefits, and that's why we are going to become the member. But once we become the member, then we will have all those specific pathways open to us on which we will be able to progress. We have bilateral cooperation with the countries of the region, but this will provide us a multilateral platform. But let us become the member, let us become the full member, and then we will obviously be having more occasions to talk to you about the specifics. So if I don't see any more questions on the SCO related matters, I will close that. And Srinjoy, आपने एक बहुत important सवाल पूछा था about the just 1 minute, about the today's developments in Iran. We have the initial reports which have come from Iran. It's obviously, as you all know, is an unfortunate situation. It's an ongoing situation. It has not seen a resolution or termination, to the best of my knowledge, when I came into this room. And we are awaiting a full report and full details from our embassy as to what exactly happened and what's going on. There has obviously been loss of life. It appears that there has been obviously attack on the parliament and also another monument in Tehran. India, as you know, condemns all forms of terrorism. And let us await for more details of this situation and development for more specific comments from our side. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good day.